inside the human being, there will never ever be true peace on this earth. Never. And I will say more than this, that Islam is the only way to establish true peace. There is no other religion, there is no other way of life that is able to give the human being true peace and true happiness. Now, what are my reasons for that? How practically does Islam give us this peace? How practically does Islam give us this peace? The first and the most important thing that I want to touch upon is what the Muslim believes. What does the Muslim believe? The Muslim has a belief that is so sensible, that is so rational, that makes so much sense, that there will never be a confusion in the mind of the Muslim between what his or her religion teaches in terms of what we believe and the intelligence. You will find most other religions and most other philosophies, they do not make much sense. In fact, many religions rely on the fact that, or the idea that, many religions rely on the idea that religion isn't supposed to make any sense. Religion is supposed to be nonsense. It's superstition. It's spiritual. It's something other than this world. So how can you subject it to your intellect? In fact, sometimes they will say, the more nonsense it is, the more true it must be. Yes, I have heard this said. One famous writer, I don't know if you've heard of him, his name is Graham Green. He is a very famous writer anyway. If you study English literature, maybe you will study Graham Green. And he is also famous because he converted from one part of Christianity to another part of Christianity. I don't want to mention which one. The reason he said, why did he convert to this other Christian? He said, because it doesn't make any sense. The reason I became this type of Christian is because it doesn't make any sense. And the more mysterious it is, and the more nonsensical it is, the more I think it must be a true religion. This is his idea of religion. Religion is supposed to be confusing. But why? And if your religion, which is the foundation of your whole life, what you believe is the foundation on which your whole life is built. If your foundation is confusing, if your mind is confused about that, how can you ever have peace? How can you ever have happiness? Because always you will be saying, wait a minute, but that doesn't make any sense. But this is confusing, and you will never feel happy. But how about the teaching of Islam? Islam gives the most rational and acceptable explanation in order to understand this world and this universe in which we live. We look at the universe, we look at our world, we look at ourselves, and we see that this universe and this world and our own selves operates according to amazing laws. The most intricate and complicated and beautiful systems. The human brain is infinitely more complex and has a huge and really incredible, greater computing capacity than the world's fastest supercomputer. There are more connections in our brain than there are atoms in the universe. This is just the human brain. We look at the stars, the alternation of the night and the day. We look at our eyes, our liver, our heart, our kidneys. We look at the symbiotic relationship between the creatures, and not only the creatures, but the creatures, the animals, the insects, and even the sun and the air. And we find everything working according to a system. Now, human beings Our experience tells us that when we see the simplest thing, a pen, we know someone made this pen. Do you have any doubt that someone made this pen? Have any doubt? How about my mobile phone? Did someone make this? I think you're more sure that someone made the mobile phone than the pen. Yes? What is my mobile phone made of? Do you know what it's made of? Essentially two things: sand and oil. Yes. The silicon chip, yeah? It's from what? Sand. And plastic comes from oil. And I happen to have a case here made of leather. Okay? So let's say a dead animal. So in my mobile phone here, I've got sand, oil, and a bit of a dead animal. Okay? Which place in this earth has lots of sand and oil? Name me a place. Okay, Saudi Arabia. Lots of oil and lots of sand. No, this was not made by anybody. I was walking along one day in the desert of the Saudi Arabia, and I found this mobile phone sitting there, and it's a product of chance and coincidence. The sun was shining, the oil was spewing, there was maybe a volcanic explosion, the lightning hit it, and after millions and millions of years, this mobile phone formed itself just by coincidence out of the sand and oil. You believe that? You believe it? Does that make any sense? Is that even a fairy story? It's not even if you couldn't even make a fairy story out of that. It's so stupid. Yet people want to tell us that this universe, that you and me, that the animals and the trees and the sky and the moon and the stars and the sun, they are a product of coincidence. Yet they are much more complicated than even this mobile phone. So how can a human being ever feel at peace when they have such a stupid, ridiculous belief? How? Because in the back of their mind they will always know that this is impossible, that they are fooling themselves, that this is so unlikely and so improbable. But they have staked their whole life on it, and they have built their whole existence on the idea that there's no God, this is just a product of chance and coincidence. When I die, the worms will eat me, the dust will eat me. That's it. How can anyone have peace thinking something like that? It doesn't make any sense. But it does make sense that when we look at this amazing universe, to think that and to understand that there must be something that is so wise and so powerful and so intelligent that has created this universe and that has organized it and sustains it. And also, it is sensible to understand the thing or the being that created this universe cannot be the same as the universe. It can't be the same. It can't be a part of the universe. It can't be the same as the universe. If there is some being that created this world, then that being, we would say, if it's part of the universe, would also need a creator. So it's not truly the creator. Sure, the mobile phone has been made by a human being. But if the mobile phone needs a human being to make it, the human being is even more in need of a creator. So the creator must be something different. It can't be the same as the universe. The creator must be something without a creator, without a beginning, without an end, everlasting. And there cannot be two creators. How could there be two creators? If there were two creators, the world and the universe would not exist. It would be confusion. It would be chaos. And in fact, the more we look at the universe and the more we study the universe, in fact, what becomes amazing is that the whole universe has this underlying unity. And in fact, science, when you really study it, shows us more and more that there must be one creator of this universe. And this is what Allah, He is telling us in the Quran. If you look and you see the signs in Allah's creation, the alternation of the night and the day, the camels upon which you ride, the ships on which you sail, in yourselves, on the furthest horizons, in these things are signs for those people who are wise and who understand. Therefore, the belief that is taught by Islam is one that makes so much sense. That there is one God who has created this universe, who sustains it and has brought it into existence, who is mighty and powerful and wise. And then again, the human being will ask themselves something. In fact, you'll find all human beings are asking themselves this question. Why am I here? What is it for? What is the reason of my existence? What is the purpose of my life? It's a very strange question, really. It's a very strange question. If I ask you, for example, what is your eye for? What's the eye? What is it for? Yeah, to see. Thank you. Okay? The eye is to see, and the nose is to smell. Okay. And these slippers, what are your shoes for? Huh? What do they do? They protect your feet. Protect your feet. Think about it. Every single part of your body has a purpose. Your shoes have a purpose. Your watch has a purpose. Your glasses have a purpose. If you study the creatures, you will find that each animal has a purpose and a special place in the creation. The sun has a purpose, the moon has a purpose, the stars. There is a reason for the existence of all of these things. And we're not confused about that. But then the human being is asking, what is my purpose? Why am I here? I know what my eyes are for, I know what my nose is for, I know what my shoes are for. But me, I don't know what I am for. I don't know the purpose of my life. Huh? So, how can a human being ever be at peace when he knows his shoes have a purpose, his glasses have a purpose, huh? My eyes have a purpose, but me, I don't know what's my purpose. Will you be happy? Will you be happy? I don't think any human being can be happy like that. Thinking that they are more worthless than the pen they write with, because the pen has worth. I know what it's for. Me, I don't know what I'm for. Now, if we want to know the purpose of our life, and we want to know the reason for our existence, from where are we going to get this knowledge? From where are we going to get this information? We could become like the philosophers, sit and think and think and think and think. But if you study philosophy, you will find that every single philosopher came up with a different idea. Every philosopher came up with a different idea. Whether it's Aristotle or Plato or Descartes or whoever they may be, they came up with all with different ideas. What's the purpose of life? Some of them even maybe there's no purpose in life. Science will not answer this question. Where do we find the answer to this question? The answer to this question can only come from the one who created us. The one who created the human being. The one who made us knows the answer to this question. What the Creator made us for. Why are we here? What's our life for? What's the reason for our existence? And in fact, if you think about it, the only answer that will satisfy you 100% is when you know the one who made me told me this is why he made me. No other answer will make you really happy inside your heart. So if we want to know what is the purpose of life, we need that knowledge from God. We need that knowledge to come from our Creator. But how do we get that knowledge? What do we do? How do we get that knowledge? Now, people may suggest different things. Maybe God just left some book lying around somewhere with all that knowledge in it. Huh? Or maybe God teaches every single person that knowledge. But if you think about